I was drafted in the United States Army in early February 1943. I served till late January 1946. I spent 2 years stateside doing such arduous duties as attending Ohio State University and other schools. After 2 years, I was transferred overseas, a long way overseas, from New Guinea to the Philippines to Korea. In the Philippines, I earned I earned a citation for Philippines liberation with 2 battle stars. I was Rodney F. Merkert, Sergeant, Company B, 115th Combat Engineers, 40th Infantry Division. We served a lot of time working under fire from 105 millimeter howitzer shells. If you heard them whiz, you were safe. If they made another noise, hit the ditch. I was on a troop ship when I heard the report that we were not going to have to invade Japan because we dropped the bomb. And I spent the last few months of my service in Korea herding Japanese soldiers, removing artillery shells from caves in the mountains around Busan, Korea. And I was discharged from Fort Dix in January 1946, and the Japanese soldiers I was served was also happy to get out of the service, which might surprise some people. And that pretty much summarizes my service.
Okay. When you were in the 40th Infantry Division,
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what countries you went to and what you did there?
Well, in New Guinea, I was at a replacement depot, but in the Philippines, we served in Luzon, Panay, and Negros. Panay and Negros are Visayan Islands in the southern Philippines. We, in Panay, the fighting was over quickly because they caught the Japanese in the open areas. On Negros, the Japanese went to the mountains, and we were building roads to supply the infantry and were digging them out of the mountains.
I heard you say you moved.
I was never fired upon, and I always thought if I was going to be a casualty, it would have been friendly fire from the 105 millimeters that went the wrong way.
The howitzer.
I heard you say that you had to remove ammunition and stuff from and move it to someplace else. Was that a hazardous job that you had to do? Was it dangerous?
Sounds like it was dangerous.
Well, I had a hard time convincing the Japanese that they should put the shells in one place and the fuses in another place, but nobody blew us up, so it was all right.
Sounds like modern day bomb squad, doesn't it? So are there any stories you'd like to share about some of your friends or buddies that you made during the time that you kept in touch with? Or
Well, when I was overseas, it was late in my career in the Army, and things went by rather quickly. And I'm one of those people at the end of the war, what they wanted from the Army was out. So
they just wanted them gone so they could continue their lives.
What?
They just wanted the Army gone so that the people of the countries, they wanted the Army out of there when you all were done.
What? I don't understand.
Okay, the Filipinos, how did they like you? Did they help you?
Well, the Filipinos liked us fine.
Yeah, okay.
We got along fine with the Filipinos.
Yeah,
The only problem we had with the Filipinos is we had some Mexicans in our company who wanted to act as if they were Filipino guerrillas, and they caused a bit of problem. In fact, the last time I was shot at was when Filipinos shot at them.
That was probably top secret classified. wasn't it?
I'm sorry, I'm not the ordinary veteran.
No, we liked it. This is good. Now, what does your patch stand for?
That's the 40th Infantry patch.
40th Infantry?
40th Infantry is California National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And they were overseas long before I joined them. There is one thing that I observed while I knew by the end of the war the Japanese were thoroughly defeated, because I drove in what do they call those things? The big pickup trucks.
Troop
From
carrier?
Luzon to a place called Angeles, and on Luzon. We drove by rice paddies, and every one of these rice paddies had crashed Japanese airplanes in it. Hundreds of them. And it's obvious the Japanese could not afford such losses. So there was no doubt that regardless of what they did and regardless of their danger, they were beaten and they should have gotten out.